Probate secrets in wholesaling real estate. Guys, it's Rick Ginn, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 hidden treasures to get the best wholesale deals. I'm going to show you the secret sauce in pulling this list that make them so effective. I'm going to teach you the deadly conversation secrets so you can effectively close better wholesale deals. I'm going to share my secret conversational skills that make you a close killer in probates. I'm going to teach you different techniques on actually how to pull the probate list. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to share my niche specialties that will allow you to offer services that no other wholesale probate investor will ever think of. But before I do that, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share this video with someone who wants to find the truth out about wholesaling. So guys, I love to do probates, and honestly, if you've never done a wholesale deal or you've done a couple hundred, you should still be doing probates. In fact, one of my biggest regrets was waiting 5 years into my wholesaling career before I ever did probates on purpose. So knowing that, don't avoid them, run to them. They are extremely profitable. They are perfectly suited for a beginner wholesaler, even a seasoned pro like me. When pulling the list, let me let you know, anybody can pull a probate list. You can pull them locally, you can pull them with the software, but specifically I'm going to teach you a technique to find the most profitable probates. Some of you are a little bit limited on choices. If you do multiple markets, you can probably take this down. We basically call it list stacking. So if I find someone that has an open probate and they are a PR, a personal representative, if I can find any other pain points to go along with it, man, your odds of getting a great wholesale deal shoot through the roof. My favorite one are the ones that are in foreclosure or have a tax delinquency assigned to it. It usually indicates there is a much bigger problem than just the passing of a loved one. It is an ongoing problem, and let's be honest with you, family issues tend to bubble up, especially when somebody passes away, and the signs are already there on a probate. You find somebody that's in a probate that has a foreclosure and or a tax delinquency, I guarantee you, it is a big problem. Multiple investors have tried to fix it. Realtors have tried to attack it. You need to go in and take these things on head on, because honestly, the bigger the problem, the more money you can make in wholesaling. Why would it be any different in probate? I find more people walk away from probates because they think it's too expensive to open. I don't know what to do. It seems overwhelming. It's really not that big of a deal. It is a legal process and you have to follow it to a T. We involve lawyers, we involve title reps, and you're not doing it. Your job is to go out and find these people. So if you can use these common list stacking techniques, you can use in your softwares, you can use in your X-Leads account, the more pain points you find, the more signs it indicates it's a big problem, which means you're going to have a bigger payday. But keep in mind, you're going to need people to help you out do this. So hopefully you have a team, a title company, they will help you out with a lot of this stuff, or you're welcome to JV with me and Zach, and we can take these deals down. Why not? If something has 100 grand, I can split it with you, earn 50 grand just by providing me the lead. It proves 2 things. Number 1, probates are awesome from an investor standpoint. And number 2, I'm already proving the fundamentals of wholesaling that marketing is the number 1 skill set. So if I'm willing to pay you 50 grand just for a lead, understanding marketing is the number 1 skill set you can learn as a wholesale investor. Now, the next one comes down to the conversation, and this is what I'm pretty much considered an expert in. But I'm going to be honest with you, I think people overcomplicate this and they miss the basic fundamentals of what a probate is. Somebody passed away, usually a loved one, and people grieve from it, but they do have to make decisions what they're going to do with the property. The whole purpose of a probate is a deed is on a property and you can't transfer the deed when someone's passed away, so it requires a court order. Now, probate's not just particular to real estate, but usually real estate is the biggest asset that they need to liquidate in there. And there's laws already set. Most of them are pretty much common amongst the counties. Some states are a little bit different. Like an example, Florida's not that hard a place to do a probate. It's pretty straightforward. Tennessee's probably my favorite state to do them because you don't even have to go through a formal probate to get them done. But remember, every state has a little bit different laws. You'll find tendencies. Colorado can be a difficult place to do probates just like California. But for the most part, these are the most profitable deals. So when it comes down to the art of the conversation, most of the time we're either cold calling them, I call them warm calling, I'm sending out a letter, and I'm trying to tickle and engage the PR, the personal representative or the executor. Now, here's where most investors make a mistake, specifically wholesalers. They get the PR on the phone, and what do they do right off the bat? They just attack price. What do you sell this property for? What's the least amount you would take for it? And I found it really turns people off in probate. Number 1, it's not technically their house right now, and they have a fiduciary responsibility to liquidate the property in the the family's best interest. So starting off with price right off the bat already puts you in a negative connotation and you look like an idiot. I don't even mention price in the first phone call because I'm more interested if they're qualified to let the property go. Does the property have issues? Do they want to keep the property? I'm not going to waste their time if they want to keep the property. It's their family right to do it. But they go, listen, we had to take care of mom the last 2 years. We had to foolproof the house. I had to glue carpeting over the tile. I had to put in all this handicap stuff in the bathroom. The place is a train wreck. I'm not proud of it. And I always say, you know what? It's incredible that you took care of a family member because that's the priority in everyone's life. And that's how I predicate all these conversations. I never go, hey, I see your mom died and I'm willing to buy the house. I let them tell me their pain. Now, most of the time they're calling me, either I'm cold calling them, I call it warm calling, or they're responding to one of my letters. And my job is to get the PR to open up to me to tell me what their intent is to do with the property. It's much easier to have them volunteer that information than to beat them up on price right off the bat. If you want to kill a probate deal, attack price right off the bat, because the number one thing they're trying to establish is, can they trust you? And if you just attack on price and you want to compete on price, you're not wholesaling, you're a retail buyer, and stay in your lane. Because price, when it comes to probate, is not always the predicating decision maker on how they're going to sell the property. Number one, a lot of times it's embarrassing situations. These houses are in rough shape because they had to take care of an elderly person and they're embarrassed by it. Number two, they don't want to be judged. You don't want to be judged. I don't want to be judged. Same people on the phone. Number three, they haven't even thought of a price. Sometimes they don't even know what it's worth. So my goal of that first conversation is get past stranger danger and just connect with them. On average, I'm talking to them 5 times before I even connect on a price and a contract. That requires patience. And if you can't be a human, please don't do probates. Guys, this strategy alone will make you a ton of money. As every other wholesaler tries to run everybody over because they're just sprinters and they want the latest, greatest thing, here I am sitting here 24 years later, endlessly doing probates. Why? Because I'm patient, I care for people, and I establish the trust factor before I ever attack price. And most of the time, if it's just about price, they'll let you know early and you don't have to waste your time with those types of probate leads. Number two, the more conversation you can have with them, the more that the probate PR person will open up to you. Meaning the probate is just a symptom of what's going on with the real estate. The story behind that is how you honor the person that's passed away and how you connect with people. And that's the secret with probate. I'm not telling you everybody in probate wants to connect with you, but if you want to get a great deal and make 50 to 100 grand, you got to make them feel comfortable with you. You got to establish trust. And if they tell you the house is run down, I don't have any money put in it, I'm 2 months behind on the mortgage, I want to resolve this, these are the people we bend over backwards to help out. Because this is the job of a wholesaler, to listen to your prospects and find the solution. You don't create the solution. They will share the solution with you. You just repeat it back to them and say, seller, you told me you want to get that thing sold by the end of the year. You told me you want to get X amount of dollars and you want to sell it as is with no contingencies. Do you see how I use the seller's information to solve that problem? You're going to have to ask some quality questions. And the only way you can do that is by, number one, gaining their trust, and number two, walk them through and get to the story. The only way they're going to tell you the story is you got to put them at ease. You got to earn their trust so you get past stranger danger and help them out as much as you possibly can. Which leads me to the last part of the conversation is, now, if you go over to freewholesaling.com in our free school community, we actually have a document to show you how we do the mailers. Now, I like to mail. Letters work, postcards don't. And I use the 1-2 punch. I'm going to do a cold call / warm call, and I'm going to do the letter. Why? Because a lot of letters get responded to it. They feel less threatened with it. I use the McDonald's Burger King approach. We like the fries at McDonald's, but we like the Whopper at Burger King. None of it's good for you. But either way is some people are turned off by cold calls. Some feel that a letter offends them or vice versa. And in my letter, I basically say, and I share this with you, I give it to you absolutely for free. What if I could show you how you could sell your property prior to the probate being completed? Is that something you want to talk about? Now, you can use that as a verbal, what we call a universal sales proposition. Who the heck's going to say no to that? I use it. It's like magic. There's a technique to it. We teach the whole thing, but they could actually do it, but I don't tell them how to do it until they'll engage me and at least let me walk through an entire presentation, either on the phone or in person, on how I can help them by buying their property before the probate's complete. You see, when you have a universal sales pitch that nobody else has, you intrigue them. Use curiosity. This is what the secret to marketing is. This is one of my niche strategies in probate probates. I like to tell you it's a secret, but only people that follow me understand it. Use it wisely. Now, when it comes to pulling lists, this part of the game has actually changed coming into 2026. In the old days, we used to have to go to the courthouse, actually pull the probate leads, and it's painful. Now, I still like that strategy because that's where all leads derive from your probate courts in your particular county. If you can do it and nobody else can get to that list, you have a complete tactical advantage over anybody else in your market. But guys, we're in 2026. Data is everywhere. A lot of counties, more than 70% of them have that online. Some of you have to have business accounts. Some of you have to have these ridiculous rules and filled out. But if you can get access online, that's great. The third way you can do it, if you want to do a systematic approach to do this nationwide and find the lowest hanging fruit for your probate leads, just get an X Leads account because we provide the probate leads for you. Now, these are a little bit behind because they have to scrape the data off county records. But imagine doing your local market and then finding the best probates all across the country, connecting with them, and that way you can market anywhere in the country you feel fit. Now, that gives you the ability to do this nationwide, find the lowest hanging fruit. You're welcome very much through xleads.com account. Before this, it was $300 to $500 a county just to get that data, and it was usually 90 days old. So we have formed an agreement in XLeads where we can pull this nationwide data, and now you can market the entire country. No, are you going to get all the PR's information? No, but this is more of a scalable event. You can do direct mail, you can do warm leads, cold call leads, whatever you want to do. Whoever gets that leads first and earns their trust and solves their problem is going to win in probates. Probates are never going away. It is a fundamental of life. It's a fundamental of real estate, and it is a fundamental strategy that you need to employ in your wholesaling business. Now, let me get to the final one, which is basically my special niche. What can I offer a probate prospect that most wholesalers would never think of or never bother to go out of the way? Remember, I didn't attack them on price. I heard their story. I listened to them. I gained their trust. I used all their information to provide them a solution. And now I'm going to employ what I call the special niche closing strategy in probate. And it goes simply like this. If they're upset that they have a mortgage outstanding and it's going in arrears, then offer them a solution, not so much to pay the mortgage, but to get the property closed sooner than later. Remember that universal sales proposition I made on closing the probate before the probate's complete? Yes, you can actually approach your title agent and or lawyer. Remember, the probate lawyer doesn't represent you, it represents the estate, and you can make a request if the seller is open to it to basically sell the asset before the probate's complete. Why would they do that? What if they got a $2,000 mortgage payment that they don't have any money to pay for and the probate's going to take 6 to 12 months? You can file a petition in the court to liquidate the asset to take stress off the estate. That the whole purpose of probate is to make sure the deceased person's final affairs are followed through. They don't want their loved ones paying a mortgage they can't afford it, they don't have the money, and lose the house to foreclosure. No, the lawyers aren't going to share this technique with you, but Rick is. And you can do this with the help of your title agent and or closing attorney. You have to have the seller's permission to do that. And if they do that, you can give instructions on how to facilitate and move that forward. The next one is if the PR lives out of town, which is quite common, especially in my state of Florida, is we have a lot of people live in New York, they're in Georgia, they're in Vegas, whatever it is, and they don't have time to fly out to the property. They go, well, I'll come out there, I'll meet you in like a month, we'll take a look at it. I go, I tell you what's the biggest problems you have with this property? Well, I got to keep up with the lawn, I got to keep up with the utilities, and my friend Fran across the street has a key to the property. Don't wait for Fran's key because you're never going to get it because Fran's probably going to try to secretly buy the house. You could just say, listen, with your permission, if you could put something in writing, either a text or an email, and I tell you what I'll do is I'll go ahead and change that lock for you, and then I'll mail you a copy of the key and I'll put a lock box on the front door. That way we can access the property when we need to get inspectors or anything like that. It doesn't cost you any money. I'll take care of it. Is that okay with you? And most of the time they'll agree to it. What does that do? Number one, it gives you complete control of the house. Nobody can go in and out of that house without you knowing about it. Obviously, let the owner do what you need to do. I assume Fran's up to no good, but if Fran wants to get her, give her a key to it. Remember, you have a lockbox. They're going to have to call you for the lockbox code. Number two, that ensures that you are doing everything in your power to make that property go through, meaning you are following the process. You're making sure nobody gets in there that's unauthorized, and you can start showing your buyers this property if you have a signed agreement. It gives you a tactical advantage, and a lot of times it can take 2, 3, 6 months to get some of these deals done, depending on what state and what the agreement is with the PR. But that gives you the tactical advantage because you don't have a homeowner in your way. PR is out of state. You've gotten full disclosure of what you're doing, and you can bring cash buyers in there without worrying about somebody leaning over you. And the more you expose to it, the more time you do it, usually the higher price you're going to get, which is the main reason why we get such big spreads in probate. Rick, how much it's going to cost me? On average, a locksmith is $50 to $100 to get in and out of there. And then get a lockbox and put it on there. It is worth it. It gives you such peace of mind and control of the property, and you're actually helping out the seller. The last one is if a seller tells me I haven't cut the lawn in a while, I'm worried I'm going to get a code violation, or the utilities are killing me, step up. If you have a deal that has got profit in it, if the utilities cost you 50 or 100 bucks a month, it's well worth it. You can get reimbursed on the HUD. It's more than fair to compensate you for it. And number two, if you mow the lawn, especially in the summertime, you win such a favorable impression amongst the PR that you strengthen your bond of trust. You're helping them out. And by the way, you can get reimbursed at the closing on it, or if you're making a huge spread, just eat it. And guys, no other wholesaler is going to, oh my God, I got to spend $100. You spend $100 to make $100,000. I'll do it all day long. In fact, if you guys want to share these deals with me, I'm more than happy to partner up with you. Check me out on the live streams. Check us out in the school group. Send it over. We'd be happy to help you out with it. So guys, I just shared you 4 killer secrets to get the most profitable wholesale deals and give you a tactical advantage over every other wholesaler that's trying to reach for these deals, because they're all using the same tired tactics. Make a difference, offer services that no other wholesaler or realtor can do, and you'll be shocked at how many great profitable wholesale deals you can do. So let me know in the comments which ones you're using. And as usual, if you got value from this video, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share this video with someone that would benefit from wholesaling. This is Rick Ginn. I'll see you in the next video.